Hello and welcome to the WebAdvantage 3 tutorial. Let's start by setting up a new account. First, click on the Create Account button. You will need to enter your email address, first name, last name, and password. Make sure to click I'm not a robot, and if asked, fill out the CAPTCHA form. When finished, click Submit. You should receive an email that looks something like this. Click on the Activate Your Account or copy and paste into your browser. This will send Advantage IT team an email ticket. Advantage IT must approve and activate the account before you can use it. Once Advantage IT has approved and activated the account, you will receive an email asking you to set your password. This usually takes 24 hours or 1 business day to complete. Once your account has been approved and activated, you may create users or request devices be added. To create a user, go to the Administration pull-down, Manage Users section. You'll notice that there are 3 sections to the Manage Users page: the Add or Edit a User, the Existing Users, which already have been created, or the Assign Devices section, which will already show the devices that have been assigned to a user. In the Add or Edit User section, make sure to enter the username as an email. Enter the alarm email, which is different from the username email. Next, enter your first name, middle name, last name, your mailing address and zip code, as well as your company phone, cell phone, and user role. About the user role. A device administrator is an administrator to a controller or multiple controllers and may add users to devices that they have already been assigned to. For example, if you were the device administrator, you could then add additional users to that device as you saw fit. A user may log in and view the controller, its settings, etc., but may not make any changes unless they have been given permission at the controller itself to do so. A user may not create new user accounts, assign themselves to other controllers, or assign other users to other controllers if they are assigned as a user. The Existing Users section allows you to modify or view details about a specific user. When you click on a user, you'll be able to see all the assigned devices that have been assigned to this user ID. From this section, you can click on the magnifying glass to view all the details about the controllers that have been assigned to this user ID. From this window, you can click the X or Revoke button and then click Yes, are you sure to revoke access to a controller to any user ID. You may also toggle between admin or user permissions for any controller assigned to this user by clicking on the admin or user button. To enable alarm emails for this user ID from the Assigned Devices window, click on the Alarm Email checkbox. Note that you won't receive any alarms until you set up what alarms you want to send from within the controller. From the Administration pull-down, click on Manage Devices. On this page, you'll notice the Add or Edit Device, Existing Devices, or Assigned Users to a device. In the Add or Edit Device section, you'll need to enter a logo if you choose, a name, the serial number of the device you are adding, the model number of the device you are adding, an optional client name, optional physical location, and please enter the cell router ID number if this is indeed applicable. Also, feel free to insert an escalation alarm notify email. There can be multiple email addresses separated by a comma. The escalation alarm notify will alert others after a specific amount of time has lapsed. You may choose this amount of time by selecting the time after initial alarm. This can be 24, 48, or 72 hours. Next, choose if you want to send connection notifications. Connection notifications will notify you if the controller has gone online or offline. Finally, if you have any notes you would like to enter them at the bottom. In the Existing Device section, click on a device that you would like to view details about. On the right-hand side, under Assigned Users, you'll notice all the users that have been given access to this controller. You may enable admin or user privileges, as well as enable or disable email alarms. You may also disassociate a controller with a user by clicking the X and then clicking Yes. From the home page, click on the Administration pull-down, then click on Manage Devices. From the Manage Devices page, you'll notice 3 columns: Add or Edit Device, Existing Devices, and Assigned Users, which will populate a user list based upon what existing device you select. To view details about a controller that has been added from this page, click on the controller. The assigned users and their permission rights will be shown on the right-hand side. You can again toggle from user to admin, as well as assign if you want this user to receive alarm emails. You may also revoke their access from this menu. From the home page, click on the Graphical View. From the graphical or text view within WebAdvantage, you may configure the controller admin and user passwords, as well as grant or restrict permission to specific functions and features. After clicking Configure, go to the Password tab. From this window, you may change the controller admin password or the controller user password. The controller admin password should be changed from the factory settings regardless, as this allows unchecked access to the controller settings. The controller user password should also be changed from the factory settings. Also, under User Access, you may select what controller features you would like a user to have access to. Check or uncheck each permission as you see fit for the specified user. When finished, be sure to click Submit. From the graphical or text view pages, you may modify any control points for the device that you are connected to if you have permission to do so. To make changes to control points, click on the Edit button next to any titled section on the graphical view. In the text view, the Edit button will be next to each value. Each control setting you want alarms for must be determined in the Control Point Settings menu. Here, we are editing the connectivity settings. You can see the low alarm and high alarm parameters. The pull-down shown allows you to disable the alarm, display the alarm on the controller only, remote email the alarm only, or display the alarm on the controller and email the alarm. You must set the high and low alarm settings if you want either to notify you if the control parameters are exceeded. To configure a WebAdvantage report, you will need to go to the home page and search for your controller. If you have a short list, just click on the Reports view shown here. Once the report view loads, you can click on the plus Add Report button to create a new report. Give the report a name, then assign the permission. You may choose User, which only allows you, the user, to generate and make changes to the report. Other users may see and use the report, but may not modify the parameters for this report. You may also choose User Shared, which allows you to create a report that can be modified by any user that has been assigned to the controller. Controller permission means that any user that has access to the device may change the report, query the report, or remove the report as determined by the user. You may also embed branding into the reports. You will have a choice between primary logo and secondary logo. The primary logo is usually your company logo. The secondary logo is usually your customer's logo. These will appear on the reports as well as in the top left of the WebAdvantage window. The email date allows you to set when the email should first be generated. The hour offset function allows you to set how many hours after midnight the report should be sent. So if you want the report to be sent at 8 a.m., set the hour offset to 8. You have 4 options when attaching logs. You may choose Graph Only, which will only send you a graph in an email, Graph and Logs, which will send you the graph and a CSV log file, Logs Only, which will send you only the CSV log file, or you may choose WebAdvantage Export, which will export the data in WebAdvantage format. The email address option signifies what email address you want the report to be sent to. Note, if you have multiple email addresses you want the report sent to, you must separate them with a comma, not a semicolon. If you want the report to be a weekly report, you'll choose every 7 days for the reporting interval. Next, choose between dual or single access. Single only provides you with 1 access point to measure against. Dual provides you with 2 access points to measure against. This is good if you are measuring pH and conductivity in the same graph. The left axis graph allows you to set the visual parameters of your left graph axis, while the right axis minimum and max allows you to set the visual parameters of your right graph axis. The channels will allow you to set the data channels that you want to have graphed each time the report is generated. Select the channel, select the color of the represented data lines, and what axis it should use, left or right. You may also choose to override the channel name to say something easier like connectivity or TDS. To add a new channel, just click the plus new channel button at the top of the channels section. If you try to build a report before the controller has been connected to WebAdvantage, you will not see any available channels to select, so it is worth making sure your connection is established before attempting to create any custom reports. You may also create a user template when creating the report. This makes the user template bound to only the user who created the report. Nobody else can edit or use the report template you created. The Create Company-Wide Template button allows you to create a company-wide template for all to use, if you are the company admin. Only the company admin can perform this function. Users may change items like the access values, but may not change the channel names. To create a new report from a template, click on the plus new report from template button. This will load the new report window with the user template pull down. You may choose to use the user template or the company-wide templates at this point. The rest of the section is the same as the previous report tutorial. Quick History View from the History and Reports window allows you to quickly view data for a specified time frame. Any channel may be selected and graphed. You may also choose to export the graph or pull the data as needed from this section. Upload Offline History allows you to download a data file from an XS or newer controller to a thumb drive, then upload the data directly into WebAdvantage. Note that you must select the correct controller to upload the history to. It's important to mention, on the controller, when you export your data, make sure that the history is set to WebAdvantage upload format. If it's not set to that, it will wipe all the data up to that point when you export to the USB. This should be the factory default, but changing this setting will wipe all the data up until that point on the controller.